Did I say anything to the,
in the record that this
juror?
was
Hold on just a second.
closed when he filed it.
Did I say anything to the jury?
This is the opening.
He was here, he's been.
I mean, we opened it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, well, I think you put it in the record. I don't know that the jury necessarily, there's any issue with that. And,
Okay. I guess it's returned to sender, so it doesn't really matter, but. Okay.
all right.
All right, bring him in.
Judge, you have one who set back in the.
Oh, okay. I thought they were outside the door. You can be seated.
He just come out.
Let me know when they're ready to come in.
They're coming in now, Judge.
Don't know whether that can step into it, or whether it's man's boots or something. Be seated, please. All right, Jeff.
Thank you, Your Honor. Your Honor, at this time, I'm going to return a stack of documents withholding two to Detective Sumerel to put back in the safe, just not to confuse with the two that I'd like him to read.
All right.
Which one first?
This one first.
Okay.
That page. This one.
Just the front?
Yes.
Just the front page.
Inspector Sumerel, you've got a document in front of you. Is that one of the writings that was just retrieved from the safe?
Yes, sir.
And could you read it aloud for the jury?
Taylor, I'm really confused right now. I don't know if it was you in the pictures on Instagram or someone who looks like you. Do you really have a twin sister? Which one am I in love with then? I want the Taylor that wrote those beautiful songs and sang to me at her concert. Maybe Taylor 1 wrote half and Taylor 2 wrote half. Maybe I saw Taylor 1 in Morton and Taylor 2 in I think it's concert. I'm not sure what that word is. Who is the girl in the music videos then? If there is Taylor with different identities, then who are those other people? Is Austin your brother? Maybe Calvin is boyfriend for Taylor 1 and Austin is boyfriend for Taylor 2. Taylor, I wrote you a story a few weeks ago about a dream that I had. I know you're really busy.
And you can place that back in the safe if you like. Now, another item that was in the safe was an envelope that you have in front of you. Can you describe for the jury who that envelope is addressed to?
This envelope is addressed to Oprah Winfrey.
All right. Does it have like an actual, you don't have to read it out, but does it have an actual address listed under it?
There is an address, yes.
And is there a return address?
Yes.
What's the return address?
Travis Reinking, 243 West 5th Street. I guess it's Salida, Colorado.
Okay. And was it mailed?
Mailed and returned 2/9/17.
Okay. And if you could, and you said return, so return to sender?
Return to sender, yes.
Okay. And if you could open that letter, please, and read that aloud for the jury, please.
Oprah, I'm writing you because I'm in love with Taylor Swift and I don't know if I'm delusional or not. I started writing Taylor June 2nd, 2015. The letters were about dreams that I was having. I saw Taylor for the first time September 29th, 2015. It was at a concert and she mouthed the words hello to me while she was singing a song. After that, I started to After that, I started to notice that what I was saying to her was getting repeated back to me on the internet. Also, things that I was doing on my phone and computer. I wrote her and gave her permission to do those things because she was being nice to me and I didn't want her to feel guilty. Later, I took back permission for her to do that because she started being cruel and lying about everything. She catfished me on the internet, made me fall in love with her, and then started being nasty to me. Taylor would link me videos that were correlated to my life. I would use algebraic substitution to assume identities between different characters. Normally, I would see a character as me if they had the same life situations as me. I remember that I wrote Taylor about a dream. She was falling because a female fan tried to hug her and there was no handrails. After that, I watched a movie on Netflix that's called That's Not Us. The female character says to the boy character, "You can help me keep my balance by learning to ride this bicycle," I believe is the word. I told my family that I was bisexual after that. I never made the connection that the thoughts I had about men meant that I wasn't straight. I just thought it was sin. It hasn't all been bad, but now she's saying things like I'm gay and I have to hook up with a guy to see her, that only girls are allowed in her squad, and that I'm a transvestite. She says things like she's hooking up with other guys, she's hooking up with girls, that she wants to be in a relationship with more than one person. She name calls me names like Donald Trump because I told her about my science idea and she supposedly made money off of it. She tells me that I can't trust anybody. She tells me things like she has a twin sister. I have evaluated these things for myself and I know them to be untrue. If Taylor wants to live a lifestyle that I'm not sure what the word is, that's her decision. Living my life the way I want to is my own decision, and she needs to respect that. Also, I feel like Taylor has been trying to get me to meet her places. Why she wouldn't just call on the phone, I have no idea. I tried to meet her one night, and I told my parents about it. They called ERS on me and had me forced by the police to get mentally evaluated. I was kept against my will for 6 or 7 days. The doctor, without a root cause analysis, told me that I was schizophrenic because I was having paranoid delusions of grandeur. When I asked him how he knew Taylor wasn't hacking me, he just said, "Trust me, she's not hacking you." I think that stealing someone's intellectual property would be a very plausible cause for someone to hack someone else, especially if it's worth what Donald Trump is worth. Last week, I thought Taylor was telling me to come home. I don't know the truth about her, so I thought the only way I'm going to know is to go see her. I figured that home is where she is, so I went to her house in LA. Taylor made it sound like I was all good for landing on my way there. She said that it was a trust fall and I just had to do it and trust her. I did it, but when I got there, the place was under construction and looked like it had been abandoned. I believe Taylor went there and I had driven 1,000 miles to see her. I was mad and posted a video on Twitter of me yelling outside her house. Now I don't know what to believe. I've reached out to the police, FBI, and even President Obama. I want the internet hacking to stop if it is in fact happening. I want to know for sure if I'm delusional or not. Maybe this is someone else on the internet, like the government. Maybe I was just wrong and saw different patterns. I'm pretty certain that it's Taylor because that's what they told me, and only Taylor should have gotten my written letters. I'm so in love with Taylor, and I'm chasing her the only way I know how. You're her friend, and I'm sure you would find out if this is real or not. Please, you have to help me. It's been a year and a half, and if this isn't real, I would really like to move on with my life. Taylor would probably like it too if strangers weren't showing up and yelling at her door. If it is real, I want to know why she is pretending to be someone else. I want to know why she is hacking me and stealing from me. I want to be able to get her help if she needs it. Maybe something like this is better suited for Mari. I know that you're a caring and generous person, Oprah, and if there is an honest person in show business, it's you. Please help me figure this out. Travis Reinking, and his address.
Thank you. And you can place that letter back into the envelope. Those are my questions.
All right. Leave Rick.
Detective Sumerel, anytime that there is digital evidence in a criminal investigation, is it common practice that you do not actually review the digital evidence, but there are detectives that are trained in computer forensics and mobile forensics that actually review that evidence, and then they just report back to you if there is something pertinent to the case?
Yes, ma'am.
And the GoPro videos were reviewed to see if by chance there was anything related to this homicide. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And so that review was done looking for evidence related to April 22nd, 2018.
Yes, ma'am.
And if the SISU department and Detective Gesh would have located something pertinent, that would have been relayed back to you.
Correct.
And was there anything specifically related to 4/22/2018, this homicide incident at 3:23:50 a.m.?
Nothing that related to the homicide or would help us in finding Travis at that time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, next one.
All right, this time, the state of Tennessee rests its case in chief.
All right, members of the jury, the state has concluded its case in chief. As I indicated to you last week and this week, I believe that at the conclusion of the state's case in chief, we would have to take a recess because there's some legal matters I have to address to the attorneys before we can proceed to the next phase of the trial. It's getting close to the lunch hour anyway, so it worked out pretty good. Please keep in mind, although the state has concluded its case in chief, this trial is not over with, so you still can't talk about this trial whatsoever. Again, you must keep the cost to yourself, remain open-minded. We'll get you back in here hopefully around 10 to 1 and get started. When the defense starts, I told you they had to move up their witnesses, and some of them had some tight schedules, so it'll be hopefully no later than 1, and if we can get started a little bit earlier, we will, okay? Just go back and relax. We'll get you back in here as soon as we can.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, before we open up, we need to share a moment, please.
A few administrative matters. Will your first witness be here by 1 o'clock?
Should be here before.
Okay. Just let us know when she does get here. If it's 11:45, we'll try and get started a little bit earlier. That way she can get out a little bit early. Of the rest of your witnesses lined up, you said, I think last time you told me you had emailed them to see if they can adjust their schedules.
So the second one is supposed to be here at 3 o'clock. I'm anticipating that the first one would take a while. The second one, we told 3 o'clock, and then we might have a third one today. Be at 4. So we think we should be able to have him here to go to rest of it.
All right. Do you want to address JOA at this time?
It'll be very brief if you want me to.
Well, I just thought we would have it at least for the record.
Yes, Your Honor. Your Honor, at this time, the defense would move pursuant to Rule 29 of the Tennessee Rules of Criminal Procedure for a motion of judgment of acquittal on the basis that the evidence that's been presented by the state is insufficient to sustain convictions for the offenses charged in the indictment.
Your Honor, the state at this point would say the proof is to the contrary.
At this point, we'll obviously agree with the state, since I have to look at it in light most favorable to the state, without any inferences, or with all inferences and presumptions, I'll respectfully deny the motion. Okay, and during lunch, I'll address, or I'll read the cases in closer detail on that instruction request number 3. And we'll try to deal with that before the end of the day. All right? Anything else? All right, y'all have a good lunch. I'll see you back here. Just kind of get word back to me when she gets here, and we'll see how quickly we can get started up here. Thank you.